on the film, in which we had to justify virtually every frame in the film. I've never had to do this on any other subject. And the ITC not only cleared it, but praised the film and vindicated it. It was a very important decision because it did demonstrate that this kind of technological intimidation, if you like, failed.
Yeah. I mean, how can journalists report the Palestinian-Israeli conflict with perspective? It's a problem that British journalists have with the war in Ireland.
Well, it isn't a Palestinian-Israeli conflict, for one thing. It's the occupation of one people by another. You know, that terrible figure of 9% of people thinking that, you know, I think it's in the same report, that the majority of people thinking that the settlers were Palestinians, that they were people in their own country were actually the settlers. And there's no context to reports. You turn on the news and it's a kind of almost a surreal moving belt, and then up comes the Middle East, the Palestine-Israeli conflict. Oh no, you know, they're at each other again. Well, it's not like that, actually. It's the thing that we objected to most strongly when bad tyrants invaded parts of the world that the British government, the American government didn't want invaded and occupied it. That almost virtually the same United Nations resolutions were imposed on Saddam Hussein in 1990, which had been imposed, quote unquote, on Israel on a number of occasions, and the Israelis just rejected them, and of course with American support they could. So it's double standards, and double standards, like the expendability of some people and the acceptability of other people, that's the vocabulary, that's the language of power. It's not the language of us. And when I say we and us, I don't mean, as you hear journalists saying so often, when they mean we, they talk about the government. Well, do you think we should be doing this? They say, Minister, you know. Well, we and us are people. In the United States, the administration is one of the most unpopular in history, but you actually wouldn't know that. So the we, when they speak about power over there, is the power of people.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the results when you tried to report the Middle East conflict truthfully. If we look all the way back to 1970 and your first television documentary, The Quiet Mutiny for World in Action,